There are two types of outboard performance craft races: sprint marathons and endurance races. Sprint marathons are relatively simple, consisting of 4 15-minute heats. In these races, most of the crew's work is in setting up, including the installation of a smaller-sized 10-gallon sprint gas tank. The endurance races demand far more of the crew, as well as of the driver and his boat. They last for 6 hours, and to keep pit stops to a minimum, a larger 36-gallon gas tank is installed. That's a lot of gasoline to be hauling at 125 miles an hour on a crowded course. Endurance racing has been called the ultimate proof of Murphy's Law, which states that if a thing can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Case to Gary, I hit something. How bad, Case? She's taken water fast. Bring her in.
Some adjustment work on the carburetor. They've got the captain back down on the side of the boat again and running for some fuel.
All right, Earl. Now, lay back. Lay back, but I can take him.
2.5 minutes.
Repeat. Lay back. I can take him. I'll be past him in just a few...
Looks like he's going to make it.
Reggie, you get a copy? Reggie, there's a boat turned over on the turn here. You're coming up on it. We can't see the driver from here. Can you give him a hand?
10-4. I've got the boat, Gary. Don't see the driver. Okay, there he is. Seems to be okay.
To win races, you have to go where they are. And to the Team Mercury crew, that means traveling about 80,000 miles a year. To places in the United States such as Miami, Florida, St. Louis, Missouri, and Lake Havasu, Arizona, and in Europe to the historical English seacoast city of Bristol, and across the Channel to Paris. With all that travel, you think the crew would be accomplished tourists by this time.
Actually, we never seem to have time to do much sightseeing. That doesn't bother us. We're pros. Wherever we are, we're there to do our job, and that's what we keep our minds on. Like last year in Paris, Gene Trike and I were working on one of the boats, and all of a sudden, there was a hell of an explosion behind us. And Gene said, "What was that?" I told him, "One of the English boats just blew up." And he said, "Hand me my 3/8 wrench."
Another technician of key importance in the quest for new records is the racing boat builder. Unlike recreational boats, most of which are manufactured by huge corporations on an assembly line, racing hulls are usually built by small shops on a one-at-a-time basis. One of the most respected builders of hulls in racing today is Bill Seabold, Jr. A lot of things go into a Seabold hull. 26 years of championship racing, including 11 years with Team Mercury. Unsurpassed craftsmanship in woodworking and rigging, and a deep sense of personal commitment to the hull's performance. Seabold hulls are used exclusively by Team Mercury, as well as by dozens of top independent drivers who want a hull especially built for a Merc power plant. These outboard performance craft are catamaran, or tunnel hull boats, the aerodynamic design that's taking all the big unlimited class races today. The boat actually consists of two hulls joined together, which forms a tunnel between the two sections. As you accelerate, the hulls begin to come up out of the water until the boat is riding on two knife-edge keels. And as you skim across the water on these knife edges, the rush of air through the tunnel gives the boat lift, helps hold it up. Now, with only a few square inches of wetted hull surface, friction or drag is minimal. The boat can travel at speeds conventional deep V-shaped hulls can't match, 120, 130 miles per hour or more. In the breakneck pursuit of records, however, it's also possible for a tunnel hull to be going so fast, especially if trimmed out at a high angle, that too much lift is created. And as news coverage of a race has often shown, the boat is then literally blown over backwards, which means, in building his boats, Seabold must also consider that intangible known as driver skill. Racing tunnel hulls are designed to be driven by highly experienced drivers only. But in the heat of racing, even they can miscalculate. To do the job it was designed to do, win races, the hull must be light enough to provide a favorable weight-to-horsepower ratio and strong enough to stand up under the continuous pounding of choppy water at 120 miles per hour. To build those winning qualities into the boat, most of the wood used for the stringers, cross members, and plywood sheathing is obeche, an African wood remarkable for its lightweight and strength. When completed, painted, and fully rigged for running, a modern racing tunnel hull is a thing of beauty, a perfect marriage of aesthetic design and pure functionalism. How fast can an outboard performance craft go? No one knows. A few years ago, 120 miles an hour would have been impossible. Today, speeds between 120 and 130 are clocked in every race.
There are a total of 9 boats. There will be no elimination heat, the final only. Fred Ponte, Jim O'Connell, Bob Larson, Reggie Mountain.
Tunnel hull racing is very much a team sport. And what the manager is to a championship baseball club, the director of racing is to a top-ranking tunnel hull team. Gary Garbrick, the director of racing for Team Mercury, is recognized by both drivers and fans as one of the best. In the years that Garbrick has been at the helm for Mercury, the team has set 8 new speed records, taken 15 class titles. What's the toughest part of a race director's job? We asked Gary Garbrick.
What's the toughest part of a race director's job? Well, that is a tough question. I guess you have to keep a smooth-running team. I don't know of any team that's successful that doesn't work together. There's a lot of events that we spend hours with the drivers trying to figure out how we can go into this race and which strategy to use. And when it's all said and done, sometimes the first lap, everything that we planned just doesn't work, or it isn't going to work in this circumstance, and we have to change our strategy completely. That happens. But generally, we know ahead of time how the event's going to run, and we know what our equipment will stand. And there's occasions that we run harder in a marathon race in particular that we don't really want to, but I know I can ask a driver to go out and run 100% full out, and he'll give it to me. We run as a team. It's an advantage. Sometimes we can take one of our drivers and sacrifice his equipment, knowing full well it isn't going to run the distance, but at least he'll lead for a while, and he'll push the opposition a lot harder, and sometimes that works. As a team race director, there's a lot of decisions that you have to make on the spot, and it had better be the right decision at the time. There are a lot of people involved. There's a big build-up for a race. Everyone works hard. The pit crew works hard. The drivers are uptight. They all want to win. As a team director, the decisions I make may please the drivers and the crew and the fans, or they may make me very unpopular. Regardless of how they feel, the bottom line is if I'm wrong, we lose, and if I'm right, we win. So far, I've been pretty lucky.